Дойче Думков, ты еще увидишь, как из-за твоей продажной глупости, Анна-Лена Бербок, Берлин будет гореть.
Надо как-то сделать так, чтобы американские солдаты начали гибнуть.
Да мы сотрем в порошок Варшаву и Вильнюс.
Почему мы признаем Францию в ее границах?
Как я хочу посмотреть, чтобы Урсулиха фон дер Ляля корчилась с куском беспилотника в глотке.
Когда на сегодняшний день мы говорим, что война будет безъядерной, мы, наверное, лукавим.
По количеству на душу населения, правда, Канада ее опережает, но Америка — это мировая держава победила.
Я сейчас требую спалить Берлин.
In recent months, Russia has increasingly relied on a strategy of nuclear intimidation, wielding its arsenal of weapons of mass destruction as a means to bully the civilized world. Just recently, Russia announced exercises to practice the deployment of tactical nuclear weapons under Putin's personal directive. Alongside threats of nuclear strikes against Western nations, these drills serve as a clear attempt to intimidate Ukraine's allies and dissuade them from aiding Ukraine. However, this behavior merely reveals the Kremlin's fear and lack of alternative means to influence the situation. So what exactly does the Russian nuclear intimidation sound like? Let's look at a couple of examples. Here is a Russian propagandist Yevgeny Popov during a special edition of 60 Minutes, ominously discussing the potential for a nuclear conflict if NATO were to become involved. And the Poles, as you mentioned, are already discussing the possibility of covering the western Ukrainian territories with their own air defense systems. They talk about it openly, and if they talk, they will probably start using them tomorrow. However, we understand that this is another step towards World War III, which is, of course, already underway. But if a war with NATO begins in Russia, it will not be conventional. It will be a nuclear war. There is no second or third option. And here is Igor Korochenko, the editor-in-chief of National Defense magazine, threatening the West with the use of nuclear weapons if they continue to support Ukraine militarily. Relying on a nuclear deterrence at the theater level is relevant today. This applies not only to the situation related to the special military operation and combat operations in Ukraine. We warn that if Western military contingents enter there, we can, if necessary, use a tactical nuclear warhead against them, or against airfields in Poland or Romania, from where F-16s with Ukrainian markings will take off to strike us. These statements are not isolated incidents, but part of a broader strategy to instill fear and create a sense of inevitability around the use of nuclear weapons. This tactic is designed to paralyze decision-making in the West and force concessions. The truth is that Moscow is well aware of the catastrophic consequences for Russia itself in the event of the use of nuclear weapons. The only purpose of the Russian exercises and such statements is to intimidate the world and force it to make concessions with Russia on completely unreasonable terms. That's why, in the face of Russian blackmail, the civilized world must stand together and push back against Russia's smear campaigns aimed at undermining democracy and the world order with its ruthless aggression and deceit. After all, there is no other recipe against the world of lies than courage.